Yes, it is not a clickbait. In this video, I'm going to show you how to destroy anyone in just 2 moves. I mean, be it a Grandmaster, 2800, 2700, 25, 24, intermediate level players, beginners. Sounds good to be true, right? Well, let's see. Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Casper Chess, where chess is never boring and also where we shake our opponent's eyeballs. I can tell you what, today's video is gonna be very interesting, you guys. So let's see how you can do that. You simply start with pawn to e4. Then the traps that I'm talking about, you guys, will happen against the Pirc, where black responds with d6. But what I want you guys to play is simply pawn to e5. Check in the Lichess database, you guys. Look at this. D takes e5 is the top played move, followed by what? Knight f6. This is true. You're going to see most of your opponents pre-moving knight to f6, because that's the second opening move in the PS defense or the Pirc defense by far, which is a blunder, because now we're just going to take that knight. But wait a second. Here is what I'm talking about. Just in case you thought I was joking. I mean, speaking of 30 Android rated players, what more can I say? I mean, the probability of this trap to happen in your bullet matches or your blitz matches is very high, because people nowadays play like robots. They just pre-move pieces like no man's business, playing by memorization. Anyways, let's look at the real meat. So instead of black blundering with knight to f6, you are going to see them taking on e5, which is what we want to see, okay? Because now we are going to play knight f3, attacking the pawn on e5. Oh, wait a second. In this position, there are 2 popular moves, pawn to e4 and knight c6. Let's start with pawn to e4. I don't know how much we are going to see the Tennison Gambit ideas, you guys, against these kinds of openings. The idea is that if knight to f6, again we go pawn to d3, so that if black takes, we take back with a bishop. And again, according to the Lichess database, pawn to h6 is by far the top played move, after which you do what? Sack on f7, forking the queen and the rook on h8, so that if king takes, you still go bishop g6 check, and the king cannot go back, as this square is still covered by our light squared bishop. So they will have to take our bishop, after which we take the free queen. Now wait a second, don't skip, you guys. I have a surprise for you. A very big blunder that most white players make from here, after black plays knight c6, is to take on c7. I mean, look at the Lichess database, you guys. Queen takes c7 is by far the top played move. What's wrong with people? You guys, this is a very terrible blunder, and I'm going to show you why. The correct move here is queen d1 or maybe queen d3, which I like playing. Let's see what happens after queen takes c7. Now black can simply go pawn to e5 and your queen is trapped, okay? It has no squares to go to. It cannot escape, okay? All these squares are covered by black's pieces, so don't take on c7, please, you guys. This is a very terrible blunder that most YouTubers don't cover. And now, I guess you've known it. For example, after you play knight c3, black just needs to play knight e8 to win this queen. It cannot go anywhere. So don't play queen takes c7, you guys. In this position, I suggest you go queen d3 check, provoking the move bishop f5, and only then do you play queen g3 check, Casper's signature move, and after king h7, you now take the pawn on c7. What's the difference here? The light squared bishop is no longer guarding the b7 pawn, so if pawn to e5 comes, we can now grab this b7 pawn. I mean, even if rook c8 is played, we simply go queen takes b7, and now our queen will not be trapped, okay? By the way, knight d4 aims at taking on c2 in order for black to win our rook on a1. So that's why we play knight a3. Very important to keep an eye on this c2 square. E.g., if black foolishly takes on c2 with this bishop, thinking we are going to take back, well, that hangs the rook on c8. So clearly, this doesn't work for black. So that's the trick, you guys. Again, e4, d6, e5. You won't see knight f6 in most cases, especially in your rapid matches and 3 minutes blitz games. D takes e5 is what they play. That's the normal continuation, after which you go knight to f3, attacking the pawn, and again, pawn to e4, you go knight g5, the Tennison Gambit. Knight f6, I mean, pawn to d3, e takes d3, bishop takes d3. But wait a second. Not everyone is going to fall for this pawn to h6 trap. In fact, the second most played move here is knight c6, developing a piece and also defending the queen indirectly in case of knight takes f7. But here I just recommend you go knight c3, and after pawn to h6, well, you don't take on f7 because this knight is defending the queen on d8 now. So you just retreat your knight back to e4, your g knight, and after knight takes e4, you take back with your other knight, bishop f5, queen f3, attacking the bishop, and if knight d4, defending the bishop and also attacking your queen, just go queen e3. So this would just be a normal game. Next, you're going to play knight g3, develop your dark squared bishop. You just play chess from here. So this is how you can continue playing this gambit if things don't go your way. It's not just about the trap working, you guys. At the end of the day, we still need to play chess. All right. Back to this position, you guys. So we just saw what happens if black plays knight to f6 here. Where we play pawn to d3. But what if black plays the second most played move, bishop f5, protecting the pawn? Well, I just recommend you go queen e2. If knight to f6 again, which is the top played move by the way, you simply go queen b5 check. So if bishop d7, for example, you simply take the b7 pawn. I guess you already know this trap. If bishop c6, you go bishop b5, pinning black's light squared bishop to the king so it cannot capture our queen. If queen d7, black doesn't want you to take his free rook on a8, so that's why they have reinforced with queen d7. Here I just recommend you take the bishop, pinning the queen to the king, and after queen takes c6, whoops, queen c8 is checkmate, because there is no any piece that black can use to block this mate. They can't use their elbow or whatever. Let's just say, what if black plays knight c6 here? What do I recommend? Well, the purpose of the Tennison Gambit, you guys, is not really to checkmate your opponent very quickly. It's all about rapid development. Just ensure that you develop your pieces as fast as you can. Before your opponent does. So queen b3 is what I recommend here, intending to checkmate on f7. So you're going to see them playing pawn to e6 here. Rook b8, that would be checkmate. That's what some of the players play here. So after pawn to e6, you simply go queen c4. You just want to win back your pawn. So they better not stick to it. Bishop d6, you have more time to develop other pieces before winning back the pawn. There's absolutely nothing that black can do to save that pawn, and in this position you are just up a pawn for nothing. Alright, so enough of the Tennison Gambit. You already know those stuffs. Now let me show you the real area of our meat in this lesson. After e4, d6, e5, d takes e5, and then you still go knight to f3, attacking the e5 pawn. Well, in all honesty, when you look into the Lichess database again, what most players play here is knight to c6. For some reason, they don't normally push pawn to e4, even though pawn to e4 is the second most played move. So what do you do against knight to c6? What do you do? Well, you simply hit that like button if at all you are enjoying watching this video, because that's how you encourage me to keep on making more wonderful videos just like this one, you guys. And do subscribe to my channel if at all you haven't already, so that you don't miss any of my future uploads. I was actually surprised when I discovered that most of the people who watch my videos don't even know that I have a lot of videos on my channel. Over 100 amazing videos. So that's why you have all the reasons to subscribe to my channel, you guys. Do that during this short break, you guys. Come on, let's go. Alright, back to our position, you guys. So once again, after you play knight to f3, in an effort to enter into the Tennison Gambit after pawn to e5, you might see black playing knight to c6, which is the top played move. What do you do? Well, here I just recommend you go bishop c4, just playing normal chess. Knight to c3 will come next, and pawn to d3, you cast a shot. The whole idea is rapid development. And queen to e2 is very important in this line. I'm going to show you how. But black here wants to play pawn to e6, but they don't want to do that before developing their light squared bishop, which is why you see them playing bishop g4 so that they can now develop pawn to e6 since their light squared bishop is out of the pawn chain. Okay, now this is a terrible blunder by black because we have this move. Watch. Bishop takes f7. This is check. If king takes f7, now we can win back black's light squared bishop on g4 with no real harm or whatsoever. So let's look at anything else that can happen instead of bishop g4, pinning our knight to our queen. Black may also play pawn to e4 here. What do? We just simply go knight g5, threatening to check black on f7 and also win back our pawn on e4. Let's say if pawn to e6, stopping bishop takes f7 check, well, we still get back our pawn, and right now we just have equal number of pawns, and this is no longer a gambit. We are just playing normal chess. So this can happen in your rapid matches or in your blitz matches. Now, I don't like this way of playing this opening, okay? Let me show you what I recommend. So, after you play pawn to e4 and black goes d6, you simply go e5 again, hoping they don't play knight to f6 because you're going to capture that. They always do that, by the way. I promise. But anyways, they'll play d takes e5, after which I do not recommend that you go knight to f3 first, okay? I want you to play this move, bishop c4. I mean, instead of knight to f3, which I just showed you in the previous lines. Why bishop c4? Because from here, believe it or not, black is just going to start playing the moves that we're expecting to see. For example, knight to f6 here is the top played move, and that's what we want to see. After this, I recommend you just go knight to f3. Again, you won't see them playing pawn to e4. The top played move here is knight to c6, and that's what we want to see. Now, wait a second. It is from here where I recommend that you remember this move, queen e2. I mean, I knew what was in your mind. You just wanted to castle short or play something like pawn to h3. No, don't do that, okay? In fact, if you want to know the reason why you should be delaying castling short in most of your games, you can simply watch this video that has popped up in the card above. A very amazing video for you guys, especially beginners and intermediate level players. Avoid castling short early, okay? So just go queen e2 here. You simply want to win back the pawn on e5. And once again, black wants to play pawn to e6, but they only want to do this after developing their light square bishop, which is why you're going to see them playing bishop g4, pinning your knight to your queen at the same time, okay? Because now they want to play pawn to e6. Ha! This is where you can again shake your opponent's eyeballs by taking on e5 with your knight, completely sacrificing your queen on e2, because after bishop takes e2, black cannot stop this checkmate with his elbow whatsoever. Bishop takes f7. That's a killer move, you guys. Anyways, you won't see most of your clever opponents taking on e2 with their bishop because they know it'll be checkmate. So they will rather take your knight on e5, after which you should take back with your queen. And after pawn to e6, again the top played move, you go queen b5 check, Kaspar's signature move, which also threatens to win the b7 pawn, okay? So from here, you're going to have a very normal game, you guys. This is all for today. Let me know if you liked this video, guys, by leaving your comments in the comment section down below. And once again, don't forget to subscribe to my channel if at all you haven't already, because that's how you encourage me to keep on making more wonderful videos just like this one. And trust me, there's more to come. Turn on your bell notification icon so that you don't miss any of my future uploads. Besides, I have a lot of amazing videos on my channel which you guys don't even know about, so go there and browse through the videos and you will be surprised to see the videos that you have never seen before in your life. And before I go, my courses are still on promotion, not to mention that you can also grab my free course at www.kasparchess.com after signing up for my free masterclass right there on my website. So with this being said, thank you so much for watching my video once again.